Last week, Robin um, introduced the box concept along with kind of some standard structure components for
Yeah.
songwriting. What's up, Devin? Oh, he froze. Um, and we just kind of ran out of time, and
Yeah.
um, I thought that this particular exercise, it's something that I struggle with in like maintaining kind of a flow of a progression of intensity through a song where
Right.
like, it makes sense, but it also builds and crescendos.
Right.
I tend to get verse two, and I'm like, ooh, what do I do? And having some like being able to practice putting a structure into place and thinking through a song beforehand would be really helpful.
Right.
Not that necessarily like right. Hey, I'm gonna just mute everyone real quick, just because there's a bit of stuff. Robin, I will unmute you, um, but just to have this as a tool, I think would be really helpful for my own songwriting, and I figure other people in the group. So we're going to spend a whole hour just working through this. And so what I was thinking I would do is I'll Robin, if there's anything you want to say, I'll let you say that in a sec. And then I was thinking we'd actually do a collaboration where I'll run us through maybe a quick TAR exercise, titles, associations, and rhymes, just to kind of get our brains moving, and then we'll decide on a title or a topic, and Robin can kind of move us through a box chart, box flow chart, whatever you call it.
Yeah.
Robin, is there anything else you want to say about box charts?
I'm just gonna show you one,
Okay.
just so that we're all on the same.
Yeah.
This is one for a song I wrote for an assignment for class. So I'll bring it closer.
A little closer. There
Yeah.
we go. Okay.
So squares. I do shapes. That's not how Pat teaches it. That's not how everyone does it, but it's how I do it. Squares are verses, circles are choruses, pre-chorus is triangles, and then there isn't actually a bridge in this song, but I do bridges as little clouds because I ran out of shapes. So, as you can see in each of them, I've put kind of a summary. The song's called Jumping Anyways. And so the first verse is like, I'm scared, and then I'm jumping anyway. Like, it'll be hard, but I'm jumping anyway. I'll either learn a lesson or I'll, like, have my forever love, whatever. And then I'm jumping anyways. So it's just a way to figure out what you're writing about. You can kind of see how the shapes get bigger as we get to the bottom. That's on purpose because you're trying to gain weight to try and, like build meaning as you go through the song. So that's just what a box motion chart in general looks like. I have other examples I might reference, but that's like the only one I have that's actually filled out because usually I do these halfway through the writing process when I already know the first part, so I don't fill those in. But so like the ones that I have in my like actual lyric book from when I was writing are just like that because it's like, oh shoot, I need an outline. They're literally all just like this doesn't even have summaries in it. It just has shapes.
Uh-huh.
But it must have been useful because I did finish that song. So it must have helped in some way.
Nice. Interesting.
That's all I got before we dive into brainstorming.
Okay. So who out there knows about the TAR exercise? Okay. Rock and roll. Well, I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to pull up, let's see. I'm going to pull up my collaboration document. And just for the sake of, since this is a collaboration, and one of the things that came out of the discussions that we had around collaboration, ownership is always kind of this sticky topic or tricky topic. And I'm just going to write everyone's name down here on this document so that you're included. How does that all sound to everyone? Thumbs up? Okay, good. All right, so I'm going to put Rigel, Robin. I'm just doing first names, whatever I see on your screen. So Dave, Clark, and Devin, Brian, and I don't think there's anyone else. Okay. Very cool. Now, collaboration. Okay, so this is the way, if for those of you, okay, can y'all see this? Or I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. How about, is this maybe a little better? Okay, cool. Okay, so what TIR stands for is titles, associations, and rhymes. And I learned this from like Songtown, one of their little free videos, and it's been one of the best exercises I've come across for just quickly getting ideas going. So the first titles, what I'm going to do is I'm going to set my timer for 3 minutes, and I want you all to just spit out titles or ideas, concepts. You know, it can be pretty out there. And then what we do is we pick one of those, and then we do a free association for 3 minutes based on that concept. And then after that, we do a few rhymes just to get the rhyming going, just for fun. So I'm gonna get this stuff lined up on my screen. So I am starting my. Y'all ready to do this? Okay, I'm starting my timer, and I want you all to spit stuff out. I'm gonna start typing them down. So 3 minutes going now. Titles, concepts. What's on your mind?
Special delivery.
Special delivery. Good.
Carry on.
Carry on.
Not rushing things.
Not rushing things.
Deal with it.
Deal with it. Deal with it.
Locked in.
Sorry, did someone say something?
Locked in.
Locked in. Locked in. Oh, great.
Yeah. That's very apropos. Inner spaces.
Inner spaces. Okay.
Distance between you and me.
Distance between you and me. And these are good.
Yeah, those are good.
Fast friends.
Fast friends.
Yeah, I like that.
Crazy together.
Oh, nice.
There's no dumb ideas.
Come back to me.
Come back to me. Good. Good.
How about don't come back to me?
Don't come back. Oh, man. Don't come back to me. Okay.
Sorry.
Keep your distance. Oh, we've already had that one.
Yeah.
When you're gone.
When you're gone.
Okay. One more for me is inside.
Inside. All right.
Ins-
Um,
Broken history.
home. Broken history.
Forget the rain.
Forget
That's
the,
good.
forget the
I
what?
like that.
The rain.
Forget the rain.
No, ring?
Well, I'm going to say forget the ring.
Oh. That's cool too.
Okay, that was our time. Man, y'all, there's some good ones here. Okay, so I'm just going to read through here and just listen to your spirit. And if there's something that just tugs at you, take note of that and we'll just see what happens. Which one of these, we're looking to pick one of these concepts to move on to the next section. So we have special delivery, carry on, not rushing things, buried, deal with it, locked in, inner spaces, distance between you and me, fast friends, crazy together, come back to me, don't come back to me when you're gone. Inside, homeless, broken history, forget the rain, forget the ring. Any favorites sticking out?
I like distance between you and me personally.
Okay.
I like them all, but I like that one the most.
Okay. Any other favorites?
Forget the ring.
Forget the ring.
Forget the ring. Okay. What else?
Don't come back to me.
Would you say come back? Don't come back to me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so we got 3 of these 3. Which one? Let's get raise of hands on distance between you and me. Okay. Raise of hands on. So we had 3 there. Don't come back to me. And then forget the ring.
My hand's up on that one.
Oh, Dave's. Okay, so now it's down to. Okay, so now we have to. These are very similar. Okay, so between "Don't Come Back to Me" and "Forget the Ring."
Oh,
I
God.
would argue we should go with "Don't Come Back to Me" because we can take it in more directions, and that'll be helpful for the box motion chart.
Okay, that's
Okay.
that will settle it. See, that's why we.
I abstain from voting for this very reason.
Yeah. You get to. You're outside. You transcend the voting process.
I'm special.
You're special.
Not like you guys haven't had enough of that already.
Okay, so we have "Don't Come Back to Me," and now what we're gonna do is I'm setting my timer for 3 minutes, and we're just gonna free associate based on "Don't Come Back to Me." So the first and it's just one word. So I'm just gonna write down one word, maybe 2 words, but these aren't like sentences. These are just single words. Okay, and try not to do like the and those kind of things. Okay, so we're just going to do free associate, don't come back to me, go.
Ruined.
Poison.
Whoa. Who, for what, Robin first?
Ruined.
Ruined, okay.
Poison.
Poison,
Memories.
memories,
Destroyed.
destroyed,
Um,
frayed.
Train.
Sorry, what would you say?
Train.
Train. Good.
Optimistic future.
Optimistic future.
Blue skies.
Sunset, blue skies.
Freedom.
Highway.
Wait, what'd you say, Robin? Freedom?
Freedom.
Freedom, nice. Did I hear highway?
Highway, yeah.
Highway. Okay.
Rear view mirror.
Rear view mirror.
Mm. Let's see.
Horizon.
Horizon.
Starlight.
So what'd you say?
Starlight.
Starlight.
Boomerangs.
Boomerangs.
Mm.
What'd you say? Did I hear someone say something? Oh,
I
okay.
think it was in the background.
Okay. It was in the background.
Radio silence.
Radio silence. Okay. Don't come back to me. Don't come back to me.
Hot dogs.
Hot dogs.
Distortion.
Distortion.
Kite.
Over it.
Over it. Headache.
Feedback.
Kite.
Wait. Say that again. Wanted
Kite.
height. And what was it?
Kite.
Tight.
Okay.
And what,
You got it.
oh, kite.
Kite was right.
Kite was right. And then who? There was another one.
I forget what I said.
Static.
What did you say?
Static. As in the noise you hear on the phone, static.
Oh, static.
That's it.
Don't come back to me. Don't come back to me.
Let's see.
Boomerang.
Yo, we have boomerangs already. Yeah.
Distance.
Distance.
Mm.
Youth.
Miles.
What'd you say?
Miles.
Mile.
As in miles.
Okay.
Feed,
Oh, Joe, did you have a last one?
feedback.
Feedback. Feedback. Okay, so we've got well, you know, I should have I'm gonna try something here. I'm going to try and format this in columns. Ooh, not three.
Oh, nicely done.
I know, let's not do 3 columns. Let's do 2 columns. Hey, that's not so bad. All right. All those columns look pretty. Can we do that? No, that didn't really. Oh well. Okay. I don't know what's going on. Oh well. Here, I'm gonna make this a little bit bigger so that we can see everything. Okay, so now we're gonna do 3 minutes of rhymes, and poor man's rhyming is basically just going through the alphabet, like say the word day,
Say.
say, yeah, it'd be bay, it'd be C, D, day, E, fay, fray, F, E, gay, H, hey, you know, just kind of go through the alphabet. So we're just going to do kind of poor man's rhyming. So we're going to pick 2 of these. And we may not use any of this stuff, but it's just kind of a fun thing to do together. I'm enjoying this. So let's do.
Rigel, you would love worksheets.
I would love worksheets. Oh my
Oh
God.
my god, you would love worksheets. We
Okay.
are not similar at all. You would love worksheets.
Okay. Okay. Let's pick 2 words to poor man's rhyme. What do you got?
Train.
Train. Okay, we're gonna do train, and then let's do kite. Okay, and we'll just do train, and then if we have time left, we'll do kite as well. Okay, so we're starting our 3 minutes now.
Brain.
Brain.
Cane.
Pain.
Crane.
Brain.
Crane.
Crane.
CRA.
Yeah.
Plane.
Drain. What was the other one, Clark?
That's the one I said.
Okay, drain.
Plain.
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 Plain. A B C D E.
Blame.
Plain. Ooh, yeah.
Fame.
Fame.
Sane.
I-N, I think. Like fake.
Jane, as in the name.
Gain. Okay, wait. What? Clark, did you say something?
Fein, like Fein. I think.
Okay.
Ooh,
That's
Old
what you're
English.
saying,
Sorry, I missed something from someone.
Jane, as in the name. Jane.
Jane. Oh, Jane. Okay.
Blame.
Rain.
Blame.
Oh, blame. Blame.
Abstain.
What'd you say, Clark?
Abstain.
Abstain.
Strain.
Strain.
Sane, like the river. Seine.
E-I-N-E.
Isn't that sen?
I've heard it a number of ways. I don't know.
Shame.
American.
Lane. Okay, what else did you say?
Shame.
Oh, shame.
Change.
Change. Ooh.
Chain.
Get in those near rhymes.
Yeah, getting those near rhymes.
Grain.
Claim.
Grain. What
Claim.
claim. Okay. Maim. Ooh.
Is
Pain.
mange the word? Like mangy cat, but just mange?
Mange.
Mange.
Yeah.
We got insane.
Insane.
Mm-hmm.
Did we have
Strain.
pain?
Strain. Brian, what'd you say?
Pain?
Pain. All right.
Strange.
Strange. Ooh.
Strange is good.
Wayne. ABDS.
Frame.
All right. What'd you say?
Frame.
Frame.
Yep. Picture frame.
Picture frame.
Lane. Like a
Lane.
car lane.
Lane. The guy's already up there, but yeah, we got it.
Main.
Daze. D-A-Z-E.
Days. Okay, that's kind of a new.
Do we say abstain?
I think we have
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's do some like,
Mundane.
mundane. Okay, kind of in the M's. M and
Wayne.
Wayne. I have Wayne up there.
Remain.
Remain. Okay. And oh,
Refrain.
Plain.
do we already have that?
Inane.
Innate. All right, that's it, y'all. Hey, we did a tar together. We laid down some tar. Okay, so that was fun. I could just do this all the time with y'all. This is like kind of nice.
Right, go.
Yeah.
That's a worksheet.
Oh, that's a worksheet. Oh man. Okay, we got
This is the other half of the worksheet, but this is the half that you would probably like because it's the
Yeah.
title, the association, the rhymes.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
And where'd you learn that?
That's just a Berkeley thing in general. Pat does it, but almost all the songwriting teachers do it. It's kind of specifically for rhyming, but I use it more for idea generation and then past that rhyming so that you can just reference it when you need a rhyme. Because if you
Yeah.
used one of the words that you came up with, you have like a list of things that rhyme with it.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, I want to see how that whole thing works too. Okay, so we have our concept. Really, the main thing we were just getting to was "Don't Come Back to Me," but it's just fun to kind of. Now we have a bunch of other content too. So I'm going to stop my share for now, and I have this document up here, and we can come back to it if we need to. But our title is "Don't Come Back to Me," and so I'm going to hand it over to you, Robin. So now what do we do?
If I'm going to be holding this up like this, so if you want it to be bigger, if you're on a computer, you can pin my video. So if you go to like my video, either in your gallery view or speaker view or whatever, and you say pin, it'll keep me up so that you can see it bigger. So the first thing, I'm just going to walk you through, and as we do this, I'll ask you for like input. But the first thing I would do, so if I have my title, I'm going to take my dark black pen and write there at the top of my page, don't come back to me. And then the first thing I'm going to do is figure out who's talking and who they're talking to. there are a couple of, sorry, these are the reused sheets of when I was doing speaker. So that's what's on the back, if you see it and you're wondering. The first thing, who's talking, who are they talking to? This can be, this can change throughout the song. Usually who's they're talking to can change, or it can stay the same. While we were brainstorming, I thought of a few different directions to go. So talking to memories, as in don't come back to me, like I'm trying to forget you, I'm gonna sneeze, I'm just warning you. Hold on.
Oh, sorry. Did we have a question? Okay.
Cool. So like talking to memories, don't come back to me, I'm trying to forget you, like I've moved on, like stop haunting me. Talking to a person, break up. Talking to a ghost, haunting you. Generally, what we talk about a lot at Berkeley is, if you're thinking, what's the first thing that comes to mind, is probably the song most people would write with your title. How can you push past that and find something even more interesting? So for me, the first thing that came to mind with Don't Come Back to Me is talking to an ex, saying like, I'm better without you, don't come back to me. But I think talking to specifically like memories, saying like, hey, don't come back to me, is really interesting.
Yeah.
Another way to do this is we're starting off talking to memories of this person, saying, don't come back to me, I've moved on. And then the bridge maybe could be directly addressing the person, saying like, I'm still haunted by you, don't come back to me, I'm already dealing with your memories, I don't need you as well. So that's another way to think about it. So does anyone have a preference as to which of those options we box motion chart? I don't have a preference, whatever we want. So option 1 is memories, option 2 is the person, option 3 is the ghost, and option 4 is like the hybrid, we're talking to memories, and then the bridge is we're talking to the person. 1, 2, 3, 4. We have a vote for 4. We have a vote for 2. We have... It's moving the people around. We have a vote for 2. Vote for 4. Oh no, we're tied. Anyone want to be the tiebreaker? Someone type. Someone voted 1. Someone voted 3. Someone voted 4. I've got 3 4s.
I don't feel super strongly, so I'll go over to 4 as well.
So we'll do 4. So we'll do the hybrid.
Yeah.
So what I'm thinking about right now, before I start drawing any of my shapes, is I think I want this to be verse chorus. Why I'm leaning that way is because, first of all, that's my tendency, and I'm aware of that. The reason I'm not thinking I want to do verse refrain with this idea is that I'm just not sure that we have enough content to develop that, and I don't think after the bridge I want to have another verse, because I don't know what more I can say after the twist in the bridge in another verse. Does that make sense?
Yeah, can you say more about not having enough content to develop? Because I wouldn't distinguish.
So if I were to write this in a verse refrain, what I would personally do is have each verse probably addressing a different aspect of what's haunting the person. So like maybe the first one is memories. The second verse would be places. Those might be switched. So like every time I go down this street, I'm reminded of this memory, as opposed to just like this memory pops into my head, or like I do this one small thing and it reminds me of you. And then I wouldn't put a bridge in that, because then the third verse could be the reveal of like, you can't come back to me because you already come back to me every day in my memories, and I don't need the actual you as well. I'm already drowning in you, even though you're not here.
Oh, that's intense.
Yeah. Never been there before. That's a lie. So that would work. We have enough content there. But my concern with that is that verse 1 and verse 2 would be really similar. Like they would be different enough that you could do it, but they'd be very similar. I wouldn't put a bridge in that song, because the bridge twist, because you really want a bridge to like really recolor the chorus or whatever comes next, would be I don't need you to come back, and then you have another verse what more are you going to say? Like, what are you going to say that you haven't said already? And if you've already said, like, I don't need you to come back, you don't need to say that again in a whole verse. So that's why I wouldn't do verse refrain if I wanted to have a bridge. But even then, I feel like with the idea of don't come back to me, I like the idea of the challenge of writing a chorus centered around the idea don't come back to me that works when you're talking to memories and to people. I think that would be really cool if I could pull that off. And that's a more interesting song to me than a verse refrain with this idea. Does that make sense?
Sure. Okay.
Cool. Also, because Rigel has issues with second verses, and this will be easier to delve into. So I'm thinking verse chorus, definitely with a bridge. The next thought I have is, do I want to have pre-choruses? Pre-choruses are tricky. I find personally that I don't know if I need them until I'm writing music. Because a lot of times you're transitioning thematically, musically, and that's why you use a pre-chorus, is to bridge the verse into the chorus. Yes, the second verse chorus, yes indeed. For argument's sake, today we're going to use a pre-chorus because then we have practice with them, but we might end up deciding as we do this that we don't want the pre-chorus because it's not necessary. But I'm going to go ahead and add it because you can always just ignore it and cross it out. So I'm going to start, I will show you what I do as I do it. So I'm going to start with a verse, V1, a pre-chorus, which is a triangle, and then my chorus, which is a circle, and say, don't come back in it. So that's what the start of this will look like, is verse 1, pre-chorus, and then chorus, don't come back. And then I'm going to just repeat that because we're going to have a second verse. Verse 2, we're going to have a triangle because we're going to have a pre-chorus, maybe chorus. And then I'm going to put in a cloud for a bridge and another chorus, which takes us off the page. That's fine. So that's what my chart will look like. So verse 1, pre-chorus, chorus. Verse 2, pre-chorus, chorus. Bridge, chorus. So all the circles are going to be don't come back, because that's what the chorus is about. So then the next thing that we do is we start thinking about the story we're telling with the song and how we want it to progress. So we have 3 main times to introduce big ideas and like story into the song. Verse 1, verse 2, and then the bridge. We kind of know what we want the bridge to be about. We want the bridge to be the moment where we're saying, yes, these memories of you keep coming back and I don't want that, but I also don't want you to come back. So then the question is, what do we say in the first verse and the second verse? And how do we make sure that the second verse isn't saying exactly what the first verse said? And how do we make sure that the second verse has more weight, more importance, more like meaning than the first verse? Because the first verse is introducing the story, the second verse is like the next chapter, and it needs to be saying more. So the first thing I think about as I'm doing this is kind of the story overall. What happened? Who's talking? Who are they talking to? Like, why aren't they together? Why doesn't she want him back? Why, like, what's haunting her about it? Like, what happened? If anyone has any ideas for that, you can put it in the chat. We can develop off of those as well. But that's kind of where my mind goes, is what story am I trying to tell? Knowing in my mind that I want the chorus, or the bridge, to be like, you specifically, don't come back to me. Your memories are already here. I don't need you here as well. Where did he go? Is he gonna come back? Is he back in town after time away? And now you're saying, hey, you're back in town. Stay on your side. I stay over here. So if anyone has opinions on how you want, like what you think the story is, shout it out, put it in the chat, so that I'm not just developing this,
Yeah.
taking it somewhere.
Any
He
idea?
ran around on her. Gross.
I
Automatic correction.
Yeah.
actually like that. I like that idea for the first verse.
Yeah. So
The thing about him coming back to town, I like that idea to start the song for the first verse. I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
okay.
You know, that way, like it's like, you know, it brings all these things back of like, I mean, I think we're talking about, what was it, man, him or her talking to memories, but like the idea of like maybe he thought he saw, or maybe he did see her, or whatever it was, but this idea of like, you know, that could be your emotional state and the context for the character, you know, of like seeing somebody in the same town or thinking they saw somebody, and therefore they're saying, don't come back to me with the memories. And that could be your first verse.
Another way to take that. First verse talking to memories. Pre-chorus is you're back. Kind of being like, or second verse is like, you're actually back though now. Because the issue with opening with you are back in town, don't come back to me, is then the rest of the song is talking to that person. Like there's no way to get around it. And
Yep.
if we want the bridge to be about that, in the hybrid, then we don't want to start with the person being concrete. So that would also be a good pre-chorus transition, especially into the second chorus, of it being like introducing kind of the idea that he is a concrete person still in her world, as opposed to just like a memory. Unless we want to go with we're just talking to our ex-lover, because we can go back to that and then start with you're back in town.
No, let's stick with the memory, and then let's
Okay.
stick with the hybrid.
Cool. So
I'm thinking of somebody whose significant other leaves regularly and always comes back and expects to come back.
yeah,
You know what
that
I
would
mean?
also work. Like, you do this all the time. Stop it.
Yeah.
Stop coming back. I'm good. Thanks, fam, but I'm good.
That's just a thought.
It's a good thought.
Yeah,
How do we feel about trying that?
I'm
'Cause
down.
we can always do this again. I have plenty of pieces of paper.
Yeah. Let's just go with it.
Cool. So, what we want, if that's our story, is the first verse is saying like, these are the same things I see in the house that you're not around. Like these are the memories that come back to me. You're not around, basically. Like, I when you're not around, now that you're not around, I take the trash out by myself. Now that you're not around, there's no one in the bed next to me. Now that you're not around, I don't have to watch sports. I can watch what I want. And then we go to the chorus of "Don't come back." Like, I'm happier this way. Kind of talking about like, I remember when you used to lie next to me in bed. Now I can lie horizontal. Yeah. And no one cares what way I sleep. Or I sleep in the middle now. Kind of being like, this is how it used to be, this is how it is now. Or like, this is what I remember when I see this, now this. Second verse after our chorus could be like, yeah, dishes aren't piling up anymore. That's me. I pile the dishes. My partner would be happy I was gone. Second verse would be like, I heard you told people that you wanted to get back together. Like, I heard that you're missing me. And it being like, sorry, like, sucks to suck. Or like, it could also be kind of like a flashback moment of last time you left, you came back. And it was great, but it's better now. So you can take it in two directions. I would lean towards the second one of like, you've left before, and you always come back, and I'm tired of it.
Mhm.
The bridge could be like, I want to be in love, but I deserve more. Or like, don't come back to me ideas like you're at my doorstep in the bridge. You're at the door. You're saying, I want to be back. I want you back. And the person being like, no, no thanks. Like,
Yeah.
I love you, but no. Because the dishes are done. And the bills are paid. And I can watch whatever I want. I don't want to watch sports with you anymore. So that could be one way to take this. So I'm going to make the box chart up for this version. So verse 1 is talking to kind of like the memories, like stop coming back. I don't want him back. So like, I think what I would do if I was writing this song is good memory comes back. Bad memory that I counter it with. Like, I remember how we used to slow dance at the end of movies to the credit song. But I also remember how you used to pick every movie we watched.
Mm.
That kind of thing.
Man, Robert, that's good.
This is why I went to Northline. So like, good memory versus bad memory. And then, so I write that, usually like you would write it in the box, but
Yeah.
you only have so much room.
Yeah.
And so good memory versus bad memory. I'm sorry if this is reversed for you.
No, I actually, it reads correctly on mine.
Okay, good, because it's reversed for me.
Yeah.
So then this is why it would be good in this song to have a pre-chorus, because we can't go like, good memory, bad memory, good memory, bad memory, don't come back to me. It's a little jarring, like, storyline-wise. So then I'm telling you, like, oh, we used to slow dance, but you picked all the movies, and the pre-chorus could be like, if you come back, I'll get the good, but I'll get the bad. And the bad's more than the good, so don't come back. So, like,
yeah.
pre-chorus is bad, greater than good. So, ... don't come back to me. There we go.
Yeah.
So then, here's the dreaded verse 2.
Yeah.
Now, if you were writing this song without a box motion chart, I don't know about you, but if I was writing this song without a box motion chart, I would be sitting with my guitar for like, I don't know, 5 whole minutes, trying to figure out where to go next. If that was where I was, I would start my box motion chart, but if you do this ahead of time, if you have an idea, you don't have to sit for 5 minutes and wonder. So then,
I would sit for 5 hours.
Yeah.
yeah, well, no, I'd sit for 5 minutes and then I'd get up and leave. Let's be fair. I'm one of those people, I like to write, generally when I write verse, chorus, and then I take a break, and then I come back to the bridge, because at that point my brain is fried. But, so good memory versus bad memory, that is better than the good, so don't come back to me. Second verse, I hear you're back in town. Kind of like this first idea of like, hear you're back. I'm a little weary. I have a feeling they're going to be back at our door. So kind of keeping the idea of good memory versus bad memory, it could be like, now you're doing all the same things you used to do here. Like, I hear you're going out with your friends. I hear from my friends that you're talking about me. Kind of like introducing like, you're back. You're falling into your old habits. I know where this is headed.
Mm-hmm.
So you're back in town. Same routine. Is our
Maybe you noticed the new lock on the door.
I'm drawing a little lock next to these two, so we remember. Well, hopefully we'll remember. So you're back in town. You're back in the same old routine. The pre-chorus could be like, I know you're talking to your friends about me. Like, I know that you're thinking about it. And then the choruses don't come back. So you're asking about me. And then 2, don't come back to me. So there we go.
Okay.
You're in town, you're in the same routine, you're asking about me, don't come back to me. Basically being like, hey, stop it. As I say to my cat all the time. So then our bridge. In this hybrid, the bridge was originally like, we're switching to talking to the person. But we did that switch kind of in the second verse. So now with the bridge, instead, we're going to be doing, you are in front of me.
Mm.
Like, you are right, I'm looking at you. You are on my doorstep, as you have been many times before, asking for me back. And I'm saying, don't come back to me. That's it. No. No, no. No, no, no. Stop it. So, where I'm putting this into words is kind of like, I'm thinking, I knew that sound immediately.
Yeah.
Mine's asleep on her tower like last time.
You see if you
You
can see.
little.
You see
Yeah.
her?
Oh, hey, yo. Sorry, we always have to stop for the cat.
That's what cats are for.
They're so cute. So if I'm thinking about this bridge lyrically, I'm trying to think ahead to what kind of language am I going to use to communicate this. So the other thing to think about is the timing of the story. So good memory versus bad memory. I'm going to talk about this kind of like, this is my everyday. Not like this is right now I'm seeing these things, but kind of like every day this happens and I remember this. Every day this happens and I remember this and blah, blah, blah. The verse 2 is going to be, I heard that you were, in the past tense, because I don't want that to be my now. And I say, don't come back to me, don't come back to me, I'm better off without you, don't come back to me, is our chorus. The bridge, I think, is when I want now. You can only really have one present time in your song unless you're following an event from start to finish your song. Like if I start, this is now, I have the chorus, now we're like a little bit past when we started, but it's still like it's the new now. But if you're gonna have like 3 distinct times for your 3 verses, only one of them really can be now, otherwise it gets confusing. And we kind of do this naturally when we write, luckily. So my good memory versus bad memory is kind of a general, it's not now, it's just kind of general. You're back, I hear you, I heard you're back in town, I heard you've been asking about me, is kind of like past tense, like, I know you're here, but I'm not, like, no, this is, I heard about this, I'm not hearing about this right now, I heard about it in the past. The now is, I'm opening my front door in the bridge, and you're on my doorstep, again. And the tricky part with this is that don't come back to me isn't something that you can say necessarily in that situation, because it's like, you would say like, you wouldn't say don't come back to me, because they've tried. But what you can say is kind of like, I told you, don't come back to me. I told you last time was the last time. Don't come back to me. Don't. Like, don't. It's over. So my bridge is like open door, and they're there. And then the tricky part is transitioning back to don't come back to me from this point. Now this is where, if you didn't have a box motion chart, you might give up, if you're me. Because you don't like challenges. That's not true, I love challenge, but. Open door, they're there. And I say, remember when I said. say, remember how I said, don't come back to me. And then here's what I would do personally. And I don't have room for it on this piece of paper. But at the end, after we've had our chorus saying, don't come back to me, don't come back to me, don't come back to me, I would take the content of my first verse and put a little baby verse, a little tiny baby verse at the end of her, like, closing the door and picking out a movie and dancing alone to the credits, or turning on the TV and not watching sports. Kind of being like, now we just have the good things that we don't have to deal with you. And that would go here, but as you can see, I ran out of paper.
And I love that line, dancing alone to the credits. That's
Yeah.
that's another whole song idea, but that's awesome.
Because that's something that me and my first boyfriend did, is that we would watch movies together and then we'd get up and slow dance to the credits.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, it was really long. But so that's our box motion chart.
That is so cool.
Yeah, so then you can just kind of start and write the song, and you know where you're going.
Mm-hmm.
And you have a little lock because there's a new lock on the door.
Yes. Yes.
Does anyone have any questions about how this works? Or anything else, because I know other things too, I promise.
Do you think a song should ever have more than 2 verses?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I've definitely done that. A lot of people don't write like verse, chorus, verse, chorus, verse, chorus. You definitely can. The one thing that you're risking when you have more than 2 choruses is that that's just a lot of that song section, and the listener might get bored. So you have to have a very strong story. You have to know, like, you just want to make sure that your verses aren't repeating themselves. The song that I'm thinking of that does this really well is, I guess this also has a bridge, but it has 3 verses. I'm sorry, it's by Taylor Swift. If you don't like her, I apologize. But this one, you know what I can do. It's not going to be in boxes because that's not fast enough. But it has verse, it doesn't have a pre-chorus. Chorus, verse, chorus, bridge, verse, chorus, bridge as outro, which I talked about. You can use the bridge as a bit of an outro. So, 2 a.m. in my room, headlights flash the window pane, and I think of you. I wish you would come back. You're in your car driving down my street. See my house and you think of me. I wish you would come back. You always knew how to push my buttons. You gave me everything and nothing. Blah, 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 blah. And then this verse is, we're together. Here we are, face to face. I wish you would come back. And then the bridge, again, kind of as an outro. So this is kind of like this is bigger and louder than it was here. And that's I Wish You Would by Taylor Swift. And so it's me alone, you alone, us together verse. So that definitely works with 3 verses because it's giving different content each time. Another way to do this would be like, we just met, we're together, we break up in the bridge, I'm seeing you again for the first time, and then the chorus. So like it depends on what your chorus is, it depends on what your verse is, but you can definitely have more than 2 verses.
I sometimes
Usually it would come after a bridge.
Sometimes I find that I'm actually writing a song, and by the time I finished it, I read through it again, and I suddenly realised I've actually repeated the same idea in 2 or more verses, which is like pain. So you have to go and rewrite the whole thing again. Then
It's not fun. I hate when that happens. I've definitely had that happen, and then you're like, I put all this work in. Now I gotta combine these 2 verses into one. and he can't keep all the good lines.
I have a question.
Yes.
So is there like, I mean, I love that you laid out kind of verse 1, verse 2, verse 3, verse 1, me alone, verse 2, you alone, verse 3, us alone together. Like, is there a resource where you kind of have some song structures that are laid out like that, or you just have to like figure it out on your own?
You kind of have to figure it out on your own.
I don't.
It helps if you. So something that was assigned to me by Mark Simos, who was the teacher at Berkeley in
Yeah.
my directed study, was I had to take a song that had a structure I liked and use that. You can do the same thing with this kind of structure thing, because no one's going to know if you steal that structure from Taylor Swift, because you're going to write an entirely different song. No
Right.
one's going to be like, that's the Taylor Swift song structure. She did it once, and other people have done it, I'm sure. I just can't think of them because I don't know them. Another way to think about it is making a list of things that you hear in songs that you like. So the way I learned to write stories in songs was listening to Taylor Swift, because she's the first person I ever listened to who wrote her own songs, and I knew that about her. So I would think about the story as she was telling it. And it's kind of studying that structure of like, where are they starting? What do they say in the second verse that's different? Where's the bridge going? And think of songs where you like the structure and make box charts for them. It's kind of fun, especially if you color code it, because it's coloring. There are some conventions with song structure you can do. I know you tend to fall into past, present, future, but you could also try reversing that. Songs like You're Gonna Live Forever in Me by John Mayer is a verse refrain, and it's really interesting because that's a good one for box motion, because it has a lot of recoloring that like by the end you're like absolutely heartbroken.
Yeah.
But thinking about the songs, the structures your favorite songs do. I'm seeing in my brain a memory of a book that Pat wrote with some of these in it, but I think it's kind of scattered throughout.
Yeah.
But I could also make that resource.
You can
So
make
I have a question.
dollars of all these songwriters. Yeah, Joe, go for it.
So now that you have the structure and it's time to actually write the song, I'm curious if you and if the other people here, who starts by writing the chorus first and who starts by writing the verse first?
I'll answer first because I'm already unmuted. I start at the beginning and I write the song. Unless it comes to me. So like if I'm sitting down with a general idea and I'm writing a song, I start at the beginning and I write the verse and then the pre-chorus and the chorus. For a song that I'm currently recording called Hands Clean, I was packing up my car and the chorus in its lyrical entirety and melody just poofed into my brain like magic. So I wrote the chorus first then. But generally I sit down. If I'm sitting down to write a song and I don't already have the chorus written, I start at the beginning.
Yeah. Man, y'all, I just looked at the time and it is past 1 my time in Austin. This is awesome, Robin. Can we give Robin a big round of applause? I learned a lot just watching you kind of think about this. So I feel like there's more questions that are bubbling up. So if y'all have questions, feel free to message Robin. She's loves to talk about this stuff, and maybe we can do another one sometime in the future. Also, Robin, can you take a photo of the box chart and
Yes.
send it to me? And I'll just post it with the archive of the video and just a few notes. And if anyone wants to, like take a crack at this, like go for it.
I definitely will, just so y'all can hear how it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be so fun.
I put my email in the chat, so if you have any further questions, please email me. I am home with my parents and my cat, and I don't get to talk about songwriting enough.
Yeah.
And then also I do teach songwriting, and the stuff for that is on my website, which is just robinowensmusic.com.
Yes.
But I'm also more than willing to email with you about box mission charts or whatever, because I just want to talk about songwriting all the time, and my parents don't understand what I do.
Oh, good. All right. Well, thanks again, Robin. This was super valuable. And y'all have a fantastic rest of
Brian, I think Andrea is still there. I think so. Last I checked. I might be wrong. I just saw your question.
your awesome.
But
All
yeah.
right, everyone.
Thanks, Robin.
Bye.
Bye. Thank
Bye.
you.
Thanks, Robin.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank
Roger.
all of you.
See you, everybody.
Bye.
Yeah.